one of the greatest Godzilla movies produced and how one should be made, Shin Godzilla not only pays homage to the original Godzilla movies, but it also flows perfectly as one. It offers extreme replay value and even some very strong, albeit unsettling, scenery. In fact, this is one of those few movies that actually holds a special place in my heart. When I was becoming a massive Godzilla fan during the pandemic, as well as rising to fame as a movie reviewer, I wanted to watch something highly enjoyable and rated, as there was nothing interesting or new back then. So I decided to obtain this on disc during the COVID-19 pandemic and watched it for the first time. It blew me away with its effects and haunting tone. It was so good that it earned my respect as one of the best Godzilla movies, as well as officially helping kickstart my career into watching movies. As years went by, Shin Godzilla became almost forgotten to me, but it's still a very good movie for many reasons. So, what did this movie do in order to bring its monster back to its classic routines? And how does it truly respect the franchise? In today's movie review, I will be talking about the Japanese 2016 film Shin Godzilla. It's time to find out if the Big G still stands tall as the king of the monsters even today. First and foremost, what Shin Godzilla delivers is fear. It brought the franchise back to its dark and horror routine, similar to the 1954 film. This ain't your average rated PG-13 Godzilla fun flick. This actually feels very tense to watch. The atmosphere is always very suspenseful, even when Godzilla isn't on screen, as the human characters are using this film's effective pacing to make quick decisions on how they will take the Big G down before it's too late. It definitely keeps you on your seat. Speaking of delivering fear, it has plenty of that. They made the CGI on Godzilla move so slowly with close-up shots showing his creepy face. I really love its darker approach in this series. It never becomes too cheesy at times. There are shots of Godzilla as he slowly creeps up to Japan, and there are some moments from his scaling and presence to his massive size and heavy movement. There's also blood dripping from him in some scenes, making it even more unsettling. This is how to bring this series back to its dark routine in a glorious way. Secondly, the story is very amazing, having tragedy with both Godzilla and the humans. Not only is it a fantastic Godzilla film, but also a great take on the Japanese government and decision making, which turns it into being a well-done monster movie and disaster film. Godzilla's attacks are used as real metaphors to Japanese disasters like the Fukushima nuclear disaster and the 2011 Tohoku tsunami. Back to my previous point when I was mentioning about the fast-paced dialogue and intense focus on the political environment, it creates a sense of urgency and realism, making it like the events of this film actually happened. It's like they blended the classic 1954 movie with the current struggles of present-day Japan. It's a very effective move from Toho. All in all, this film has a fantastic story of how Japan struggles to deal with a new, monstrous threat. In any genre it delivers, it has it all for you. Monster spectacle, human drama, disaster, tragedy, anything that you'd want from a Godzilla film, crafting even more good ideas to further explore with this series. It feels very weird for a budget this low to make a film this good looking, but Shin Godzilla manages to exceed that expectation by leveling up on its scenery and cinematography. It isn't just a spectacle, it's a very reminiscent take on the original 1954 film. However, That doesn't mean the film lacks any powerful visual effects with some of its Godzilla action scenes. As one example, there's this really awesome scene where Godzilla fires his atomic beams and destroys a lot of the city surrounding him, and he starts firing from his tail, dorsal plates, and mouth. It's extremely weird but also super awesome and very flashy. I also like how they give Godzilla purple beams instead of his iconic atomic breath, as they look a lot flashier and give them that laser beam of death like vibe, making it a very deadly weapon that comes into contact with anything it touches. The visual effects help make Godzilla feel as realistic as possible, with his destructive power being all intact, and you can really start to feel it when he's shown to evolve from his second form to his third form. It's an absolute treat for G fans whenever it's ready to show its zombified Godzilla in all of his fashion. As to be expected from Japan's underrated production values on a low budget, Shin Godzilla has some amazing sound editing, with also a great mix of CGI, animatronics, music, and creature design. To start with the sound design, it mixes classic and present day effects, making those atomic beam sounds very deadly like, making them more flashier and being that laser beam of death vibe, cutting through things like a hot knife through butter. It's also pretty cool to hear Shin Godzilla use some of his original roles in a few scenes. The CGI is also pretty impressive, although they do look pretty weird at times, and Godzilla's movements and even the explosives get really clunky at times, considering its super low budget. I also really adored it mixing this with animatronics. Godzilla's design looks really cool and fits the film's vibe a lot. And lastly, the legendary music score. It mostly uses original tracks from previous films, but there are two very good ones: Persecution of the Masses and Who Will Know, with the former tackling the POV on humanity and the latter tackling the POV on Godzilla. Now looking back, I really do feel bad for Shin Godzilla himself. Lastly, it does a great job on actually giving viewers something new with Godzilla, and also maintaining the elements that make it the same old, entertaining kaiju film. To start with its unique take on Godzilla, it shows him being more of a sympathetic monster. He didn't destroy as much of Tokyo as the other Godzillas. He was like this lonely creature wandering around Tokyo, having no clue as to why he even exists, as well as just wanted to be left alone. He also only roars in pain and only attacks when humanity attacks him, as depicted in that one scene where Godzilla starts beaming Tokyo to death with his atomic heat rays, showing him having enough of the humans' harsh nature towards him. Let's also talk about his different forms. So, Godzilla has these new forms that he can adapt and evolve to. His cute and intimidating second form, the creepy but amusing third form, and his terrifying and unsettling fourth form. And the ending of the film shows the future of him, which shows these humanoids growing all over his body. Imagine seeing that for the first time. If you have been seeing the same old nuclear testing Godzilla origin story and want something new that respects the source material, Shin Godzilla has plenty of ideas for even the most novice Godzilla fan. Shin Godzilla stands very tall as one of my favorite Godzilla films of all time. It honors the legacy of Ishiro Honda by maintaining the original film's tone and mixing it together with some very creepy scaling scenery, which perfectly makes up for its very realistic approach to its title characters. We've also had some very cheesy flicks that goes back to when the series was in a very black void of nothing. But rather than add to that, it brings a serious tone alongside its political satire, with some very strong Japanese culture to match its scenery. Also, the music is just awesome, with some classic tracks and a few very good songs. The storytelling is great, its unique take on the series is very effective, and its low-budget visuals / CGI effects are impressive. If you're looking for something original and creative in the Godzilla franchise, Shin Godzilla has you covered. I 100% would recommend it for someone that's just getting into the series and isn't already as familiar with the King of the Monsters. Shin Godzilla is an example of how to bring the Big G back to its classical, rampaging style. Stomping its way through the series and roaring above the competition, Shin Godzilla brings a satisfying change to the original storyline. For even an advanced kaiju fan, it feels like watching something entirely new and original. My final score for this kaiju spectacle is a 10 out of 10 and a grade S. It's definitely one of the best Godzilla movies ever made, and the way they produced it was so clever, having some new twists and turns as well as respecting its classic story. I like kaiju movies that pay homage to the original Godzilla movie all the way back in 1954. And I also really enjoy on how it refreshes its formula and tries to do something that the series has never done before, whilst also keeping its good sense of terror and astonishment. But with that being said, leave a like on this video if you guys did enjoy my review on Shin Godzilla. And also remember to subscribe if you're new, and hit that bell icon to see more content on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Take care of yourselves.